Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make lights in the Jouef TGV Atlantique, which I bought in the south of France somewhere in the 80s. And this is old style. This does not have any possibilities to get lights in the two middle coaches. And I'm going to try to do that. My biggest problem is this guy, because I would like to keep taking it apart. And the individual bogies or trucks, that should not be a problem with some copper strips. Phosphoric copper, I think it's called, so that's a little bit bendable. The problem is this one for one of the coaches, because I would like to keep taking it apart to put it in its original box. So I'll be working on something, and I'll be back to show you. These are the parts as described on the back of the box. I can't find any manuals online or diagrams. This is it. So welcome back, guys. This is the truck of this part of the TGV. And as you can see, there's not much room to do something because it's hollow. So what I'll do is I'll glue a piece of a credit card on, just an old credit card or an old gift card. I just cut it up, glue it on, and then this sheet metal, this brass aluminum copper, but it is flexible. I think it's called phosphoric copper. It's like this stuff, or this stuff maybe. And I just cut strips of it. As you can see, I have two strips here because there's two individual trucks, and then we have this one in the middle where both carriages rest on. That's going to be a different story. So what I'll do before I come back is glue this on, solder a wire to go into the carriage on the truck, on the copper, and glue it on the truck, and then I will be back. So I have glued the little piece of credit card on, so I have some more base to attach my copper strip to go on the axles. And now I'm kind of filing it off. To put some little bit of solder on. So it doesn't matter how the truck sits. So oops. So at the moment the tension is too big, you can see, and I gotta cut it a little bit. But once I glue this, I'll bend this up a bit so that the wheels still freely roll and that I get contact. I will be putting an Stay Alive in here, so the light stays on over pieces of dirty track or switches, plastic frogs. And that will be later in this movie. I'll show you that too. So I'm just going to glue this on. I won't bore you with that. And then I'll be back. So now I'm going to hot glue strip on. I decided to hot glue it because it's really handy if I want to remove it. And I also give it a little bit here. I know it's very hairy, but you can get that stuff all off after. So what I like about the hot glue is that it's good enough for this stuff. I mean, it has not much friction. It stays put, and if you want to remove it, you just heat the hot glue up again and it's gone. So now, as you can see, it still goes pretty good. The carriages have some weight, and I might add some, depends on how good it goes, how good it works. So this is the first truck. The little solder here is a wire going into the chassis here, and on the other carriage, on this one, I'm going to do exactly the same. You'll see when that is done. And then the fun part is the middle truck, because I need a plus and a minus. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, because I do not want to get with wires through here. So I'm not sure yet. Maybe I divide the wheels with a little piece of copper here and a piece of copper here and get it in. Or maybe something, this tape around the click parts here where the carriages click in, and then make the connection that way. I'm still thinking about that, and you'll see. Right now I'm drilling the hole for the wire getting through. Well, you can't see, but it's just a drill bit out of an impact drill, but that is way too powerful. I'm afraid I'm going to wreck the whole plastic. So I'm just going to do on both carriages, drill this hole by hand with this drill bit. It is just big enough to get the wire through, and then we can make the connection to the LED strip, what's going in there on the roof. Kind of hard to see, but this is what I'm doing. I'll be back. So I took the middle truck apart. This is the part what goes over here and what connects the two cars here. So I'll start with putting in copper, I call it a copper bushing kind of. So you can see it here. I'm going to put it on the other axle too. So we'll take the wheel out. I got a whole baggie of these. And turn the wheel off. Put one on. Put the wheel back on. This is an insulated wheel on one side. I should use the gauge, but I'll just use the track. This is good. And put it back on. This is kind of a pain in the butt because it doesn't give because of that middle piece. And I will gauge the wheels after. For now I just want it to work. So here they're on. I'm not sure you can really see it, but there is one side is insulated. So what I decided is the trucks on the cars itself are sitting the one way, the plus way, and these guys are sitting the negative way. And I will glue a connector here. First I'm going to connect the two poles here with a piece of copper, with something like this. And then I'll make a connector from here, so here, to here. That when they get clicked in, they rest on the copper connection to one of the poles. So I'll be working on that a little bit, and I'll show you in a bit what I have done or what I am going to do. So guys, what I come up with is a little copper strip. I found a little hole in the connector pin. But, sorry, I keep forgetting that screen. And it goes in the inside here. That will be one of the poles. I'm gonna glue this now to the body here. Like so. And then when the wheels come in, like this, I will bend this up so when the wheels come in, I will bend this up, and when I click it in, it will go against that copper bushing that sits around the wheel axle, but will provide a negative. And I will do the same on this side for the other carriage. So I get my negatives or my positive, it doesn't matter. I get one of the poles in the car, and the other one will come to this side on both cars. I'll let you know when I'm ready to show you the next part. So I think I got it, guys. I have glued this piece on. And as you can see, I have bent it. And now when I push this, I'm not going to push it in because it's plastic. I don't want to push and pull it out too much. So when I put the bogie in here, I have to click it through, as you can see. I don't want to do that too much because it's plastic. But as you can see, this will push against the copper bushing, but still gives the wheel the play it needs to roll without too much resistance. And as you can see, it will be sitting like this. I'll push it further in. If I have to cut the copper strip a little bit or bend it up a little bit, I will. But this is what I'm going to do. And then the wire will be on the inside. There's a little hole, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little hole where the connector is. No, you can't see that anymore because I glued over it, but there's a little hole It's a 2-pin push-through connector, and there was a little hole there, and I then put a little thin wire through. So I'm going to do the same on the other side with the B side of the passenger part of the TGV, and I will be back to show you how that goes. So it's working. Here is the middle truck, what shares the two carriages. That will be the minus. You can see the wheels. That is the insulated part. So the insulated part on the right, that means the minus comes in over the left. And this truck has the plus coming in over the right and the insulated part on the left. I also put some weight in to keep the trucks nice and tight on the track. And I will be putting in a capacitor, a bridge rectifier, and an extra capacitor, an extra resistor to voorkom that that the LEDs blow. The bridge rectifier is to make it work, to make the LEDs work on both directions, though it will go one direction because of the motor. It's a Bühler motor, an open motor. Unfortunately, at that time in age, this thing is over 30 years old. There was only 3-pole. I might try to get a Bühler 5-pole or see if I can get another motor in there what fits. That's another chapter though. For now, the lights are working. Rest me to glue some cheap Chinese peoples in there and put the capacitor here. The cars will get their own capacitors and own bridge rectifiers, so they go independently, and that makes it a little bit more reliable and the lights flickering less. Okay? So I made a bobo, guys. I went up with a white wire to the roof, and then the red wire, is having the plus, was going to come down here to this connector. But that's kind of hard if you want to put a bridge rectifier and a capacitor in. So easy fix. I took the seating out, and there is some room, as you can see. I hope there's a plastic thing on the bottom there where the seating rests on, and there's 2 little gaps right here by the pins. So the wire is going to go like this. The wire is going to go like this, and you won't see nothing over it. And then I have both wires here. So I know it's both red. I should have used black. I might change it. But anyways, that is the principle. And then this white wire, I will solder it off. It's only the sticky glue from the strip itself, from the lighting strip itself. So I can lift it, glue it off, and put it here next to the red one. So guys, I have put figures in, the cheap Chinese ones from AliExpress. As I mentioned before, you won't see it. And I changed the wiring to black, so just to overcome confusion. There's a little white piece, I know, but you won't see it. And I did glue it down, the wiring, because I just like that. I melted a little opening in the one plastic barrier here to get the wiring through, and it's coming out of here. I added some weights also in the back of the seat, as you can see, because I want the trucks really making good contact. So now I'm going to put this back in, and then I'm going to do the electrical stuff here. There will be a bridge rectifier and condensator, one of those. This is a 25 volt 470 microfarad, which should be enough. It's just to get over switches and maybe some dirty track here and there, that the lighting doesn't flicker so much. Usually I use 16 volt 1000 microfarad, but the risk of exploding if you go to 18 volts with a power pack or with a transformer is so great that I just take 25 volts now. So it should be able to hold it, and it should hold the load too. There is, I have three kinds of bridge rectifiers. I have the flat ones, which I use usually if I need it for buildings because they're easy to hide. I have the round ones with the four legs coming out. I use that when I have not so much room in, for instance, a locomotive or a car, and I can hide and cut and hide the legs. And then we have this little guy, which you can easily hide in a car, and solderable. So I'm going to use it in this car. What it will do is it will, I'm soldering the AC part to the track power, what makes the plus and the minus not relevant anymore for the LED, kind of. So it doesn't matter what direction I go with the train, the LED will stay on. As you know, an LED is very sensitive to a plus and a minus. And if you reverse that polarity constantly without a bridge rectifier, eventually the LED will give up. So I'm going to use this one from the tree. They all do the same, they all work the same. And there is some values, but for 12 volt it is to not to mention. So I have soldered the capacitor to the bridge rectifier. There is a minus on the capacitors, so don't forget that, in case you don't know. Now let's get that sharp here. As you can see, 25 volt 470 microfarad. That goes to the plus and the minus from the bridge rectifier. And the wires from the track, from the wheels, come into the AC side of the bridge rectifier. So what's left to do now is the wiring. The wiring here, I got to change this. I take the white wire off and put the white wire on this side and connect this to the capacitor. And then we'll tuck it in like this. A little bit more organized. Tuck it in like that and hot glue it. I like hot glue for this stuff because I can just warm it up and change it or fix it or replace it or whatever is needed. As you can see, I added more weight because I found it still a little bit too light. It is all plastic. Here too on the back seat, and that was already under there. I would like some pressure on the trucks so the power is good distributed into the car. So as you can see, I soldered it on. So the plus and the minus from the trucks go to the AC side from the bridge rectifier, and then the wiring from the lights, and I always take some extra. I hot glue them too, so here and there at the ends. It is sticky, but yeah, just in case. I wouldn't rather not open it up again just because I forgot to glue something. I also find it a very good insulator, so I don't have to shrink wrap or do something else with it. It just insulates like this, the way I glued it, so I don't have to worry about it. And I would like some play. I know it's hard to get the wiring, but I'll get it done to put it in there. I like to open them up and have some play to work. So the people are glued in. As you can see, the light is on. I can put it some brighter. So there. And I'll turn the dial the other way, all the way, and you'll see it doesn't matter anymore. It still comes on. This is full power on a cheapo power supply, which I use for testing, and it works. As you can see, it stays glowing a little bit. The power is off. That is the capacitor doing its work. It's still charged, and it will empty out over time. You can just leave it on your track and it will go. What it will do, however, if you go over your frogs or over dirty track, it will feed the LED without flickering, and that's one thing I really like. And we have an illuminated car, divided on the middle truck. It's an on itself standing bogie. I don't know how you call that in English, but it's working. So if we move the truck, the bogie is not clicked in, as you can see. So, but it should not be really flickering. I'm off track. Anyways, this one is off track. Once it's all mounted, it should be the flickering should be minimal to none. Okay, so I have another part to do. That's going to be this one. And I will let you know when I'm finished that one and put it on the track.